Oh, hey, Carolyn. This is your private tutorial. What? You're not Carolyn? Well then.
Get out!
Now that it's just us, I'm going to show you the 5 steps towards making a cylinder. First step, centering. I slap the ball of clay until it's in the round, then I bring it down with some force in the center of my bat. Next, I'm going to need to apply pressure from the side with my thumb being in the center, and this hand palming that thumb, lending strength to these fingers on the far side of this ball of clay. Sometimes it helps to make something taller and then make it shorter again. In the end, your goal is to end up with this thing not spinning around and wiggling everywhere, but rather just spinning in place. Close enough. Next step, we're going to start to open a hole. So this is step 2. Alright, I do this with my thumb and finger. Alright, then I hold on to my wrist and I make a dent in the dead center. Once I have that dent, I put a little water in it and I make a hole. I try not to go all the way through until I hit the plastic, leaving about this much underneath. Alright? Next, I switch to my left index finger, and I'm going to open this hole a little bit wider, keeping my thumb on the lip, and these fingers on the side. These are kind of yielding. When I have room for another finger, I put it on the inside too, and I stop when I've got myself a little donut of clay. Alright? I just transitioned from step 2, opening the hole, that's step 2, to step 3, flat bottom. Alright? That looks a little like this. Alright, so we got through the first step, centering, thumb in the middle, fingers on the side, fingers strengthening in there. The second step, which was opening the hole, which started with a little dent, and then we went a little further. Then the third step was flat bottom, where we went in there with the index finger of our left hand and then came towards our own belly button, using this hand to kind of shore things up as it spun. Next, we compressed the donut, which doesn't look like much of anything, especially after that last step, but you're just kind of in control on the inside, outside, and top of that wall. Alright? Now that we've compressed the donut of clay, completing step 4, it's time to try to raise the walls. You've been having the most success with a sponge in your outside hand and your fingers on the inside. What I'd like to do is decide that whatever distance this sponge hand and these fingers are from one another in the bottom right hand corner of my pot, I'm going to decide that this outer hand's going to get a little bit closer to the inner one, and then I'm going to come up maintaining that new distance. At the top, you give a little bit less pressure, and you're careful to not make any thin spot right around here, because that's where you're having a little bit of issue. If you keep on repeating this, being patient, not trying to do too much with one pull, you'll be looking at a tall thing in no time. Good luck. Boo-boo-doo-boo-doo-boo-boo-boo.